All right, well, here we are, Tuesday morning, first day of March. So we're getting through the winter, and at the moment, I'm just kind of sitting tight a little bit. No trades yet today, so you can see my P&L top corner. Those on YouTube and Facebook, reminder as always, trading is risky. Most beginner traders do lose money, so trade cautiously and practice as simulator before you put real money on the line. My results, which I'll talk about periodically today, are not typical. So let's see. We'll go over my watch list in just a second. I'm just taking a look at my reports for February. Let's see. So I'll upload my broker statements, if not today, tomorrow, for the month of February. So we'll get those on the website. February was a good month, better than January, so that's good. Finished with about $85,000 in net profit, $103,000 in gross profit, and only $950 in taxable profit. So my tax on the profit from last month is going to be a little less than $400, $300. So that's not too bad. So, you know, a green month. Progress is good, and we'll hope to continue that here in March. Slow and steady wins the race. Some months are, you know, more exciting than others, and that's just the way it goes. All right, let's see. All right, so our leading gapper this morning is PULM, and you'll notice that this is a reverse split. So you've got a reverse split on this one, and they do have a headline here a little after 9 a.m. So not uncommon at all to see a stock with a reverse split, then put out a headline. We can check at the SEC filings to see what the float is after the split. So prior to the split, let's see. Go back here. Yeah, so this is 21 reverse split. We'll reduce the float from 65 million shares to about 3.2 million shares. So, you know, now you've got PULM with a 3 million share float. CLSN is also a reverse split. CLSN also has a headline out this morning. Not a super significant one, but receives $1.4 million from its sale of New Jersey State net operating losses. So you've got a couple reverse splits. In the past, you know, the reverse split setup is one that I've traded periodically. Sometimes it's kind of like recent IPO or something like that. Blue sky setups. When they're hot, and then when they're not hot, they're not hot. So if one of them started to move, I'd probably look at both of them and just keep them on a side chart because they're both reverse splits gapping up today. Both of them do have some type of news. But both the headlines are, you know, a little, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to always really know how significant those headlines are. Shares, both of them are hard to borrow at Lightspeed, but other brokers may have shares available. So that's a little bit different from a recent IPO, which is typically hard to borrow. Sometimes a recent reverse split, this is a stock that's been around for a long time. So the unfortunate thing is that if it does pop up, you may have some bag holders that try to get out, and that can create some resistance as they're selling as it comes up. Both of these are currently down on the day, though. ATXI is the third leading gapper, or the first gapper that's not a reverse split. This one is 57 cents. It's too cheap for me. CTIC, 74 million share float, priced to just under $3 right now. Not interested in it. Float's a little high. Doesn't seem to be moving that much. GBS, 10 million share float, back to 67 cents. Too cheap. AREB, $1.63. 4 million share float. Pre-market high a little over 2 at 217. I don't know. It's so-so. PHCF. NRSN. I wasn't looking too closely at that one, but it is a recent IPO. That's right. Made that move up to 450. It's high up there. So it almost came all the way up to its all-time highs this morning when it hit 445. So yeah, I mean, I like it, but it's pulled back a lot. So now, I mean, it's below VWAP. It's below 3. It basically popped up at 4 a.m. and is back to where it started. So that's a tricky chart. Worth keeping an eye on just in case, but it's a maybe. It's just gonna have to be a maybe. So I'll put that one up. NRSN, another recent IPO, Sky H. We had that one on watch. Made the big move when ISPO was squeezing up, but ACLX, another somewhat recent IPO. So, recent IPOs, we know we like that setup. That's where we've gotten the best action recently. So, if I saw a recent IPO hitting the scanner, or, someone called it out and was squeezing up, I would definitely be more interested in that than something like a reverse split right now. ISPO, this one broke over 43.44 right here, 44. Big breakout. It's come back down to test 44. It's basing and holding that level right now. So if it holds this critical $43.99, $44 level, then we may see over the next few days basing for a move back up towards 65.70. It's got a bit of descending resistance here that it would have to break through, but it's another one just to keep an eye on. So, we only have so many charts. There's only so many you can keep an eye on at the same time. ISPO, ACLX, Mexico Energy, MXC. This is an energy stock coming back up to its high from a couple days ago. This one's got a pretty low float. Price of oil's going up, so this could be interesting. $18, room up to 18 on the daily, 16.90, then 18. Mara, yeah, so these are Bitcoin stocks. Bitcoin moving up. These are going to move with sympathy to that. I generally haven't traded too much of the crypto sympathy stocks. I've left those alone. But yeah, so let's see. NRSN, another one. So we've got a lot of maybes, but you know, MULN pulled back a bit. Thank you, Sanjay. Cool, Eric. Good job. Focus. I don't really focus on stocks under $1. I mean, you know, sometimes it means I miss opportunities. I didn't trade IMPP, and this went from, you know, 50, 60 cents up to like $3. So, you know, sometimes I'll miss opportunities, and it is what it is. One of the challenges is that I do pay a commission on my trades, which is not the same as all traders, but I do. So for me, it's more expensive when I trade cheaper stocks because you have to buy more shares. And, you know, if you're with TD Ameritrade, you could buy 100,000 shares. Like, it's no big deal. You could buy 500,000 shares. For me, if I start taking trades like that, I'm going to be spending thousands of dollars in the commissions and the ECN fees. So I'm not really with a broker that caters to penny stock traders. So I don't trade penny stocks, and it's just sort of cost prohibitive. But yeah, sometimes I do see that I'm missing opportunities, and so that's you know, the way it is. That's enough, girl. So we've got about 10 minutes to the opening bell. And we're just looking for volatility. They're about the same, Kevin. Maybe a little less with light speed. KAVL, let me look at that. Yeah. I mean, it's got a gap up to 451, so it's possible that you could see some action on that. I mean, it's possible. I'm not sure what the float is. 13 million shares, so yeah, you never know. A lot of the like MXCs, the volume is so light. You know, your daily chart is moving higher. KAVL has 200,000 shares of volume. Volume is fairly light on that one too. You know, if it got over 3 and then 310, maybe, but probably just be like a quick base hit. You know, 10, 15 cents a share, and then see if it holds. I don't know if it will. And sometimes the thing is with trades like that, you're just exposing yourself to unnecessary risk. You know, you catch 20-cent loss and you're thinking, man, I didn't even have the chance to make 20 cents. And how did I take that big of a loss on it? CYRN, daily chart is also decent. you know, it's made this big move. If it gets back over 6 and then 694, but I just don't know if it will. Yeah, that is interesting on KAVL. Well, you know, the thing is your target's like 440. That's the 200 moving average. It's pretty close. How high a float I'll trade, it depends, because if you have a stock, and sometimes you'll have a recent IPO or something like that that's really, really ripping, and the float is like 70 million or 130 million shares, and it doesn't trade like that. But part of that is because you have a lockup on insiders who can't sell, and you end up getting some momentum. So I I try to focus on the rate of change and how fast something's moving more than anything. I think that's the most important thing. KVL with a shelf registration. Yeah, so that's good to know. So they could raise money. Triple D, 90 million share float. This one's been around for a long time. You know, this chart goes all the way back to 1988. So it saw its peak in 2013. And, you know, came all the way back down. So these are the types you want to ride the momentum while it's there, and when it breaks down, let it go. The 200 moving average is such an important level, because even if you held it a piece of it all the way back to the 200, once it broke the 200, from there it was done. Rate of change for me is, you know, I pull up a chart, you know, whatever it is, NRSN, and I see this type of candle. You know, that's rate of change. That's a stock that's moving up really, really fast. So that's what I look at. And if I see that, then I get excited and I'm interested. And if I don't, then I'm kind of just waiting. So I'll be sitting going into the open. No trades yet today. And we'll see if maybe there's more opportunities a little bit later in the morning. We'll keep an eye on the high day Momo scanner. And for the morning show, traders on YouTube, I'll see you guys back at it tomorrow morning. We'll run a longer morning show here and there when there's more opportunities and things are a little bit more interesting, but it's pretty slow right now, so not too much to cover. So we'll be back at it tomorrow. I'll put another reminder for those on YouTube, as always. Trading is risky. My results are not typical. You should trade in a simulator before you put real money on the line.